Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is a Pz.Sfl 4B or Hausschreck. It's the Tier 4 German SPG. It's got a 105mm gun and it's located on the north spawn of Ruinberg under the command of Gary Halliwell of FILO. Game's underway. Now this is the exact same gun that's mounted on the FIFI, the Leffy or leaf blower. Yes, it's identical, but of course it's the most produced artillery piece that the Germans made. It's capable of 410 alpha with a burst radius of 1.91 meters and will go through 26mm of armor. It's got a decent fire rate as well. Now it's normally around about the 12 to 14 second mark, and that's slightly slower than the FIFI, but then the FIFI is a premium vehicle. Rounds out in the Pz.Sfl, narrowly misses him. Looks like our 14 TP is going in to deal with that guy. Might not be a good result for our 14 TP, I'm afraid. He's managed to get in there, but unfortunately, yes, it looks like the Pz.Sfl has more hit points to spare, and our 14 TP is probably not long for this world. Okay, he's firing around in the Matilda, gets a nice direct hit for 35 hit points, tracks him. In fact, our 14 TP managed to escape, and he's making his way back. So he didn't die, but he did suffer. Rounds out in the 14 TP, T14 rather. That's the American Tier 5 Premium Heavy Tank. And from this position, Gary hasn't really got a good shot on that alleyway because there's a spire in the way. Fires around at the AMX-40. Narrowly misses that one. There's the spire. You can see he's got a red line from the spire. So from his current position, there's obstructed field of fire there. It's not going to be easy for him to get shots. He might actually have to move further to the west in order to get shots on them. Oh, but he got the T14. He managed to thread a shot past the spire and into him and took him out. He had lost a lot of hit points already. Meanwhile, a lot of the enemy team seem to be retreating actually from the city centre. They've all gone back to that corner. And I suspect the reason for that is they were taking fire probably from the village and they didn't like that. That Pz.Sfl has come out of his little hole to shoot at our teammates. Okay, so it does look like the enemy is actually trying to take a very defensive position. They've actually formed a line there, but I'm afraid Gary can't get a shot in there because the ruined buildings are blocking the line of fire. Yeah, can't get any shots at the moment. That Pz.4H pulls back, he might get a shot on him. But up in the north, they've actually spotted some enemy tanks and he's turned his turret towards this M10 RBFM. Yep, this is one of the few Artys with a turret, and it actually does make a big difference to the number of targets you can hit without getting too much reticule bloom. Oh, and our teammate in the M37 just took out that M10. But we know that a little further back there are two more tank destroyers hiding in those bushes. He fires around at that one. No kill from that. Lining up another shot. Fully dialed in. Rounds out. Yes, it's about 13.5 seconds is the reload on this one. It's not showing. Normally we show the reload times on the screen, but I think the mods are not showing it on this occasion. Well, over in the centre of town, Gary Halliwell switched to an Su-85B that is in sight. And obviously you expedite what you can see whilst you can. And he can kill that Su-85 with just one round. Oh, narrowly missed it, and the kill shot came from that M37 again. So that's 2 kills that Arty has. Okay, enemy 14 TP and a Matilda managed to get all the way round so that they could shoot on our teammates in the rear. Gary's moving over further west because he might be able to get better shots from the same position or near where the M37 is located. There you can see him. The further west he is, the more likely he's going to get a good line of sight on the enemy. Of course, you shouldn't actually locate your RT too close to your teammates because their fire might attract the enemy fire, because counter battery people, they look for the tracers. If they see more than one tracer in the same spot, they know that the Arty is congregated. That was a good shot on the 14 TP, a big hit, which makes the 14 TP a one shot. And he's lined up on both of them now. Well, in fact, actually, there's a wreck there, sorry, in the way. The wreck is actually probably going to take the round. Yes, it did. I thought that was a live tank. It's not, it is a wreck. It's one of our team, actually, that wreck. Now he's lined up on the 14 TP, waiting for the reload. Rounds out. Again, it hits the wreck. But the AT2 shoots the 14 TP in the ass. And that's the end of his game. Okay, we've got an AMX-40 Duck. Trying to move up on our AT2. Now, that's a very bad move for the AMX, and he actually does get taken out from the village by the DSPZ. We can still see that Panzer 3J is still in that little cubby hole. And we're actually 2 tanks down on the enemy at the moment, so we're not doing so well. There's only 5 left on our team. 2 Arty, 2 tank destroyers, and 1 medium. And 2 of those tanks are actually up in the north, or in the village, not the north, the east in the village. The DSPZ and our Su-85B. And the only tank that's actually in the town is the AT2. The enemy team, on the other hand, they actually have 7 tanks, 2 Arties, 2 mediums, 2 tank destroyers, and a light. We're still trying to hit those tank destroyers that are in those bushes, because we know they're there, just haven't been detected yet. Now, when he has his next round in the breach, he should hold fire until they're spotted, because we think they're nearby, and they're not. They've moved. Well, that's interesting. Question is, where have they gone? Are they actually now defending near the village? Oh, well, there's one of them who's been spotted straight away. Gary's going to move to a firing post before he actually stops to fire. He doesn't want to be spotted, so he's actually gone into a bush, which is good reason to do that. Unfortunately, the Su-85 got taken out by their AT2. Yes, that AT2 has much more armour than the Su-85. Gary's shot goes where the AT2 was, but not where it is now. And the guy managed to get away. So now we're at 4 against 6. So we are outnumbered. The DSPZ is going in to try and deal with that Panzer 3J. I suspect he's probably been taking fire from the Panzer 3J and didn't like it and decided to do something about it. And a 14 TP has actually turned up as well. There he is. Okay, so Gary's trying to dial in on that target. He needs to aim at the corner. Yeah, because that's where he's first going to try and start shooting at the DS. Okay, so just wait for the reload to go in, and he should be able to nail this guy with one shot now, because he's a one shot. Oh, it fell short. So he's got to wait for the reload all over again. Meanwhile, our DS is trying to stay alive. He's got another hit into the 14 TP, which makes Gary's job a lot easier. Yep. 47 hit points, but the DSPZ has taken damage from that Panzer 3J. A T6 medium is coming into sight. Gary's lining up a shot, dialing in, ready to go. Almost now. Gets a direct hit, 131. Keep him up. And, oh, one of the enemy Arty has turned up. It's Pz.Sfl. Sturmpanzer 2. And he's lining up a shot. Rounds out. Kill shot. Very easy, that one. Open top vehicle with an artillery piece in it. It's based on the Panzer 2. And he managed to take him out with 1 round. We still can't see that TS medium, though. We don't really want to leave this position until we can see him. And the view range of the Pz.Sfl is not that great, so he probably wants to stay inside those bushes, because if he moves out of them, the T6 will probably see him and start shooting at him. The AT2's turned up, and they're now going to go deal with that Panzer 3J. If he's still in his current position, he's going to suffer. The T6 medium has come into sight. Gary's dialing in. Almost there. Ready. Lovely direct hit, and the kill shot went to the M37, who fired at the same time. Oh, and now the M37's in danger because the Panzer IIIJ has actually turned up at this end of the map. And now it would be a good idea to get ready to shotgun that guy because he's locked on. He's dialing in. He's ready to fire. Yes, beautiful. That's one of the good things about this gun. It is the same gun as I said on the Leffy. It's very accurate. At close range shots, it can be deadly. 410 alpha. Oh, now the other enemy Arty. In fact, the last enemy Arty is the Butch gun, and he just tried a shot at Gary Halliwell. Our other two tanks, the DSPZ and the AT2, have been very careful to take out the enemy one by one. So the enemy's only got one. So far from being 6 against 4, it's now 4 against 1. And there's the Butch gun. And that looks like that was the M37 having a go. Gary fires and yes! Gets the last kill of the game. A very satisfying kill, that one. So what a good game. It completely looks as if they'd lost the game and all of a sudden they've gone and won it. So, turnaround for the books. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. It's a first-class tanker for Gary Halliwell and the Pz.Sfl 4B. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He managed to get 5 in the end, actually. He also got a counter battery because he took out the Sturmpanzer and the Butch gun, both of the enemy Arty, so earns the counter battery fire medal. And a bruiser medal as well for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one he managed to get 14, and his win rate from the battle was 3,580, which is very good as well. If we look at the team scores, we can see he didn't get anywhere near the highest damage in the game. In actual fact, it was the AT2 on the enemy team who did the best. He got a high caliber for 2,132 hit points of damage. That's a lot of damage, that is, at this level. And the next highest scorer after that was, in fact, the Excelsior with 1,980. Then the DSPZ, who managed to get 1,832, and he picked up a Confederate. We can see that Gary Halliwell got 815 hit points, but that 815 allowed him to get the highest number of kills. 5 kills in this game, 3 kills the Excelsior, the M37, who was very, very good. In fact, Gary could have platooned with the M37, and both of them could have come out of the game with a brothers in arms, because sometimes they were both firing at the same target at the same time. And 3 kills also went to the Sturmpanzer on the enemy team, so he was also very good at what he was doing. When it came to base XP, it was the Excelsior who came out the best with 1,232, 844 to the DSPZ, 538 to the AT2, and then we've got Gary with 492, but of course the AT2 on the enemy team, because he did so much damage, he actually pipped the AT2 on our team and Gary for the 3rd place on base XP. So Gary actually ends up 5th when it comes to base XP. He fired 28 rounds in that game, got 9 direct hits, 1 penetration, 12 splash, damage of 815 hit points, of which 771 were at more than 300 meters. So you can see there was some close range action. That was on the Panzer IIIJ, who tried to take out the M37. He received 1 hit by way of splash damage. That was from the Butch gun, who tried to get him after he killed the Panzer IIIJ, and damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 5 of them. And he earned 15,485 credits, but because he ran consumables in this game, he actually made a loss. Not a big loss, 8,100 credits lost, that's not bad. And he earned 25 bonds for the battle, 738 XP, times 2 for the first victory, took away 1,476 experience points altogether. Now the Pz.Sfl 4B is a little gem actually, because it's a late build Arty. It was actually built during the 1943-1945 period, and they didn't build that many of them, but it's actually quite a good Arty. If they'd actually opened up the production lines for these, then I think they would have actually had some decent Arties that would have had the ability to, well, not exactly hold back the Russian tanks that were invading from the east, but they would have been able to put up a better defense with an Arty like this, because it was actually quite a good design. Cheap because it had the Panzer IV as its base, and also quite versatile because it had a turret that could be dismounted and used as a fixed emplacement, and that meant accurate fire, very accurate fire. And if you've got a good forward observer with an accurately firing turret, they can take out any enemy tank that tries to encroach on their territory with some pretty accurate shots. Remember, this is a 105mm gun, so it's a very fast loading gun, and yes, that could do a lot of damage to enemy forces. So good game by Gary. Quite a turnaround from almost losing it to winning it, and well played, sir. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, please. And thanks for watching.